Hey everybody, I know you guys don't really know me, don't know my voice or anything like that, but my main channel is Lightbearer. Some of you on some of the godless channels that are professing to be Christian channels have met me in your comment sections because you've all blocked me, which hasn't really slowed me down that much. But I'm not here to talk today about those channels and what I've done in the past. I want to talk today about someone I thought was my friend and a brother in Christ. His channel is DREWBLOOM34, and when I first found his channel it was because I was fighting Claire Dubois on her Still Small Voice channel, and somehow that led me to his channel. I think I was probably doing a search to see if I could find any videos about her screwed up doctrine, and I ran across Drew's channel because he had made a video about Claire Dubois, about how wicked she was, and that Still Small Voice channel is where I did most of my work for the Lord, in her comment sections, trying to tell people what the scriptures were that showed that she was lying to them, and of course they didn't want to hear any of it. So I Drew had several channels, which is a necessity when you go in the comment sections and do what I do, because you lose channels all the time. So anyway, I went to Drew's channel. I liked what I saw. Seemed like a real good guy. He was kind of funny. I liked his videos. So I started leaving positive comments on his channel in his comment section. In fact, I liked him so well that I had uploaded dozens of me reposting his videos on my channels. That's how much I thought about what he was doing. And recently he and I had a falling out because he's now best buddies with and defending Satanists on the D13 Watchman channel with Kip and Matthias, who teach the, I think it's called Kundalini, this third eye doctrine, also known as the pineal gland doctrine, which is purely satanic. They believe that and they teach that, and Drew's been making guest appearances on their channel, like having interviews on their channel and defending what they're teaching, saying that this third eye doctrine, even though it's satanic, has nothing to do with salvation, so he's okay with it apparently. Which, to begin with, that shocked the heck out of me, because he's always talking about you have to follow doctrine or you're not of God. He's forever quoting that. And yet here he is on this other channel defending these two guys, saying that it doesn't matter if they're teaching third eye doctrine or if they're flat earthers or pretty much anything else. If he doesn't consider it to be a salvation issue, he's okay with it. He won't correct them. He became fast buddies with him. They gave him a computer. They're getting ready to give him a microphone for his computer. And he's just convinced they're just as godly as they come, and he refuses to be corrected. Alright, I say all that to say this. When I tried to correct him on it, he just ignored me and tried to defend what they were saying. Didn't want any correction, even if it was against the Bible. As long as it wasn't against the Jesus salvation part of the Bible, it was okay with him, which is not doctrinal, as he very well knows. And then recently, when I found out he was bound and determined he was going to stay friends with him and keep showing up on their satanic channel, that I left him a message saying that I loved him like a brother and he was a friend, but that I couldn't in clear conscience anymore support him or his channel, and that I was very disappointed in him. So I unsubbed him and was pretty much leaving him alone, except for a couple more attempts at trying to get him to realize how far off base he was getting with all this. But he didn't want to have nothing to do with it. Now, somebody made a mock channel, also apparently called the DREWBLOOM34 channel, and started trolling other channels using his channel name and face, and he accused me of being the one that did it. Now, I'll be the first one to admit I've got some mock channels among my channels, like I've got 2 different ones for Claire Dubois' Still Small Voice channel. Yes, I have done that. But he and I had talked a lot, and I thought I knew him pretty good, and I assumed he thought he knew me pretty good. But just because I had unsubbed him and tried to correct him, and somebody else made a mock channel, he came on and made a video stating he was too cowardly to use my channel name, and he says he didn't know my personal name, even though I'd signed off with it many times in my comments in his videos. But he wouldn't give that. He just wanted to badmouth it, and the way he put it out there, I could tell he was saying it was me. Now, like I said, I've made mock channels, but I thought he knew me better than that. I'd never do that. Like I said, I've uploaded dozens of his videos on my channels, which I've since removed, because I don't want to be associated with the guy anymore. So he made a false accusation. He called me childish, and I don't know what all he was calling me. And he started doing the exact same thing that Claire Dubois, who he can't stand, does. He blocks my comments, makes false accusations, and then refuses to apologize. And now he's on here asking for money for his wife. Now, I got nothing against Vera. She seems like the sweetest woman in the world, and I'm glad she's getting some help. But you don't use a supposedly Christian channel to have money sent to you. I don't care what's going on. My wife and I both have a lot of health issues. She's had 2 heart attacks and 3 strokes in the last 6 years. She takes 22 different kinds of medication. I have COPD, emphysema, degenerative discs, and arthritis, and I'm on medication. But we never went on trying to act like we were all Christian and asking people to send us any money. God has always provided everything we've needed because we walk in His light and because He blesses us for doing that. Now, I've been a Baptist preacher, or a Baptist minister for over 40 years. And for somebody to come on here and start calling me some kind of a fool for trying to correct him, and he starts acting like the people that he says he despises and hanging out with Satanists and asking for money and making false accusations, then I don't know what the heck's happened to him. I don't know if somebody's put a spell on him or he's allowed demons in somehow through some gateway. I don't know what's going on with him, but this isn't the Drew that I knew like 3 months ago. It doesn't even resemble him anymore. He's turned into a really sad character as far as I'm concerned. Now, Drew, if you happen to listen to this, I'm telling you, I did not make that false channel, and you owe me a major apology. Of course, I don't expect it, just like you're always saying. You're not going to be corrected, and you're not going to be wrong, and you're going to let your pride get in the way. But the thing that you need to do, more than apologizing to me, because I get yelled at all the time because of what I do, I always get yelled at. I get told lies on and everything else. Laughed at. But that goes with the territory when you're fighting for God in a godless world. But what you're doing is just flat out disastrous as far as your soul is concerned. You're hanging out with Satanists, and you can say they're not Satanists and that they came out of the occult, but I'm telling you, brother, they ain't come out of nothing. They just created a new hybrid. Like Chrislam, Christian and Islam. They've come up with Christicism, Christian and mysticism. They are not out of the occult. Anybody that can teach the third eye doctrine and say it's Christian, and the flat earth doctrine, which is of a lesser mess, to be sure, than this third eye stuff, but still false doctrine. That one I can agree that believing in a flat earth is not going to keep you out of heaven. At least I don't think it will. But I do know it's a false doctrine, and they're teaching that. But this third eye doctrine, it's Eastern mysticism is all it is. Look it up on YouTube. Put in your search engine there on YouTube. Pineal gland doctrine. Pineal-gland, pineal gland doctrine. And see what comes up on YouTube about that. And this is what Kip and Matthias on D13 Watchmen teach. And it's what Drew Bloom is okay with. I gotta tell you, Drew, if you are listening to this, you've broken my heart more than anything has to date on YouTube. And I've been through some trench warfare on this stupid computer. But I really thought you were the genuine deal, brother. And it turns out that you ain't a bit different than anybody else that you're talking about. Now, I'd appreciate an apology, but I don't really expect it because you don't think you've done anything wrong. And that makes it even sadder. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I'm not good at videos, and I'm not good at public speaking, is why I don't make videos. Because I'm terrible at it. I don't even like the sound of my own voice, but I felt like I felt so strongly that I had to get this on here for people to hear what's going on with you, and to tell you to your face, as near as I can do it to your face this way, that I did not make that mock channel of your channel, and I did not say all those nasty things. In fact, even when I was unsubbing you, and your little clan of followers, just like Claire has, all of them jumping down my throat because I dared to correct their teacher, took your point on it, didn't do any research, even though I left link after link for them to look at pineal gland doctrine and what you were saying was okay. None of them was doing any research. All they wanted to do was call me a bunch of names and tell me how mean and stupid and unchristian and going to hell I was for daring to say something about their teacher, Drew Bloom. Well, I'm here to tell you that channel has just become a sad joke as far as Christianity is concerned. You guys need to get your act together, and you need to do it soon. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end this video, Drew. But you listen to me, brother. You better get your act together, because I know you don't believe in a pre-trib rapture. But I'm telling you, it's fixing to happen here right quick. And even if it doesn't, you still need to get your act together. Going around making accusations against me when I've done nothing but be supportive of you. Pardon me. Done nothing but be supportive of you and repost your videos and always point people back to your channel, telling them that they need to go there and listen to you because you're a good guy and you know what you're talking about. Man, was I ever wrong. So I'm going to get off here now, Drew, but you better be thinking about what I'm saying, brother. I'm not saying this to be mean, and I don't hate you. I've told you myself, it breaks my heart that you've turned out like this. I really thought you was a genuine warrior for Jesus, and it turns out you're just the same as everybody else.